Hi, in this video I'll help you get to know your car a little better. At the end of this video I've put together a straightforward infographic that summarizes all the key points. Like, subscribe and comment below. It really helps.
Hey everyone and welcome. So if you're a Dodge owner and you've got that pesky check engine light staring back at you, well, you've come to the right place. Today we're going to crack the code on a very common issue, P1491. There's really nothing quite like that little orange light popping up on the dash to throw a wrench in your day, right? It's your car trying to tell you something's up, but it's not always super clear what that something is. But when that light comes with a specific code, we can start to play detective. And the message we're looking at today is code P1491. Now I know, it sounds pretty cryptic, but just think of it as the first clue in a mystery. And in this explainer, we're going to follow that clue all the way to the source of the problem. And, more importantly, to the fix. So what is your car actually trying to tell you with this code? Let's dive in and decode what P1491 really means. We're going to translate this car speak into plain English. Okay, so the official definition is that your car's computer spotted an unexpected voltage condition on the radiator fan control relay circuit. That sounds like a mouthful, doesn't it? But all it really means is that the power signal controlling your radiator fan is, well, it's acting weird. It's either too high, too low, or maybe it's just not there when it's supposed to be. To make this super simple, let's use an analogy. Think of your car's computer, the PCM, as the brain. The fan relay? That's just the light switch. And the circuit is the wiring that connects the brain to the switch. So code P1491 is telling us there's a problem somewhere along that path, between the brain, the switch, and the wires. Okay, so now that we get what the code means, let's line up our three main suspects. Because honestly, in most cases, the problem is going to be one of these three things. So here we go. This lays out our three main possibilities. First, the fan relay itself, our light switch, could just be bad. Second, the circuit, the wiring, could be open or shorted, which is just a fancy way of saying the electrical path is broken or it's taking a shortcut somewhere it shouldn't. And third, and this is much less common, the car's computer, the brain, could be the issue. And as you can see, each potential cause points to a pretty clear solution. All right, time to put on your detective hat. And don't worry, you really don't have to be a master mechanic to figure this out. Let's just walk through a simple, step-by-step checklist to find the real problem. First things first, always, and I mean always, start with the most likely and the easiest suspect, the relay. Just find the radiator fan control relay. Your owner's manual can show you exactly where it is, and just look at it. You see any cracks, any burn marks, or anything that just looks wrong? This is a great place to start because a relay is usually a cheap part, and a lot of the time, it's pretty easy to just swap out yourself. Now, if that relay looks totally fine, let's move on to our second suspect, the wiring. Just follow the wires that are connected to the relay. You're looking for anything that seems out of place. Frayed wires, maybe a loose connection, or even that green or white crusty stuff, which is a sure sign of corrosion. And listen, pay really close attention here. This step gets emphasized for a reason. So often, the problem isn't some huge component failure. It's something as simple as a bad connection. A good, careful visual check can save you a ton of time and money, for sure. Okay, so what if both the relay and the wiring look good? Well, then it's time to consider our final and definitely our least likely suspect, the powertrain control module, or PCM. Remember, the PCM is the car's brain, and a failure here is pretty rare for this specific code. So you should only really consider it the culprit after you've completely ruled out the relay and all the wiring. If it does turn out to be the PCM, it'll need to be replaced, and that's usually a job for a professional because it often needs to be programmed to your specific vehicle. So, we've decoded the message, we've identified all the suspects, and we've walked through the whole investigation. Let's just do a quick recap of our action plan so you can finally close the case on code P1491. All right, so here's your game plan, plain and simple. Start with the relay, then carefully inspect the wiring, and only then should you even start thinking about the PCM. You want to work from the most likely and cheapest fix to the least likely and most expensive one. The solution is almost always the same. Just find the broken part and replace it. See, that check engine light doesn't have to be some big, scary mystery. With a logical approach, you absolutely have the power to diagnose and maybe even fix this problem yourself. So what do you say? Ready to get under the hood and solve this case?